Okay, I think a lot of these people that made these are the ones that are in response to my video, but a lot of people made like Twitch affiliate videos and shit like that. The thing is, so I'll tell you, I don't even think about competition in the sense of, oh, how many people are doing this. I just create the shit that I want to create. I just create the shit that I want to see out in the world. And so with the thing like the Twitch affiliate video, I felt like it didn't matter to me how many people talked about it because I felt like I could provide value and a different take on it. Everything has already been done, right? Like everything is, there's nothing like purely new, but you don't have to like think about that. Just like think about what you want to see in the world and whatever sort of unique spin you're going to put on it is gonna carry it. It's gonna be unique in itself. Corey, yo, a lot of love tonight. Thank you for the 10 gifted, man. Clap it up for Corey. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Slow hand. Shit, guys. Jesus, today. A lot of love. Thank you for the positivity, man. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Thank you so much. I've been fucking hard grinding Just Dance 2021. I play it every day right now. I'm just going super, super hard on Just Dance 2021 right now. I love it. Such a good game. The set list for the songs are so good. So I'm like, a lot of the extremes are super, super hard, really challenging. So I'm just going giga hard every night I get home on Just Dance. I can't play it tonight because it's too late, probably. Everybody will be asleep.
Are we committed or are we committed?
When do you think you're too old to make a big job or life change? Dude, I don't think you're ever too old. I really don't. Congrats for smashing 100K subs. You're an insane person to respect the grind effort. Thanks, dude. I'm hoping to do even better in 2021. I said that 2020 was going to be a breakout year, and it was. I mean, it's so crazy to come back to this stream and look at it now.
Did you get any rest before you came over? You didn't, like, lay down there? Do you want to lay down for a minute? I have some ibuprofen, man.
When you think about it, dude, like this stream at the beginning of this year in 2020 started with 50 to 80 viewers average. 50 to 80 viewers average, less than 1,000 subs on YouTube. Another way to look at it is with the 100K subs on YouTube, we got on YouTube in less than a year what it took us 8 years to do on Twitch and follower count. What are the requirements for getting verified on YouTube? We're there. I just got to submit it. Are you uploading all your VODs to YouTube now? Most of them, yeah. As long as I'm proud of the show.
Getting those dagger skill ups right now.
Do you think COVID has been a big part of your growth? Nah, I don't think COVID affected it at all. The number one thing we did this year to grow was start a YouTube. That was just like, if I could go back in time, assuming, you know, I can tell myself like one thing, it would be to have started YouTube so much earlier. The Dave, thanks for the 25, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving, bro. Thank you for the 25. Thank you, man. Adding you to that list of supporters. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, the YouTube, dude, the YouTube is just incredible. And, oh, I just burned the shit out of my dick. Holy moly, that hurts. Oh, God. You know how, like, you're in the pain?
Yeah, I really need to...
I moved my kettle too fast and I just burned my dick.
I've got a plan for it.
I'm wearing, like, really thin sweatpants. Holy fuck, my dick's on fire.
On the YouTube game.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I restream to YouTube.
When's it going away?
I really don't do shit for it.
Oh, oh God. Whoa,
I wouldn't
my
mind
fucking God, that hurts so bad.
Content in general. Like going through like all the quests and stuff. I wish I would have done that from the get-go, actually. I wish I would have. I just didn't even think about it.
Fuck, that's rough. Oh. Alright, we're good.
Got his ass.
Oh. Jesus. Good thing I don't need to use that thing, man. I'm just too hype. Fuck. Oh. Thanks for the tier 1 last call. Appreciate it. Sorry. That was absolutely savage.
I'm gonna be right back. They won't know a thing.
Oh my god. I like how you just dealt with the pain and didn't take a step. Yeah, man, you just tank it. Just tank it. If ever I get in like some kind of like serious pain like that, I just get into my head about it, just chill. Oh, you sent the email? Thanks, dude. Yeah, I want to check it out. Jesus. Okay. All right, I'm here. Okay. What the fuck were we talking about? 50 to 80 subs concurrent, or 50 to 80 viewers at the start of the... We were playing their Billions at the beginning of 2020. And...
Okay.
I think we're doing something on Twitch and
The
YouTube
party's probably
that...
like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Man, almost no one's doing it in quite the same way. So I just feel really good about it. Feel really good about, like... December is kind of like my favorite time of the year. Because... I spend a lot of time thinking about how my, like, rest of my year in 2021 should... I'm like one of those people who's like, I really, really strongly believe in goal setting. And when I write down my goals for the year, I notice that I hit so many of them. We hit every goal I had in 2020. Every goal that I had. And a lot of them I like, way, way, way exceeded. So 2021, like... I already know where I want to take the YouTube. I want to double it for sure. I want to go up another 100K to 200K. Would be amazing. I've got LinkedIn goals, Twitter goals. No Twitch goals, I think. I'm not going to do any Twitch goals. A bunch of personal goals.
I need to unlock the ninja stuff.
Can you recommend any YouTube channels that help with Twitch growth tips?
Oh, wait,
we are
who?
the best on YouTube, my man. The second would be probably Harris Heller.
Let me
He's
take
also
a look.
very good.
I'm not even...
Other than that, though, we're kind of the two people on it.
What's up, by the way, dude?
Do you ever stream from home? Nah.
Yeah,
Have you
who's
touched
that?
on the Pokey and Fed drama? You seem like a smart man. Wondering what you think. Thanks, bro. If you consider me a smart man, then you'll know why I don't comment on it, because I think smart people don't think about shit like that.
I didn't see anybody in the Discord.
Is the politest way I could say it, dude. Is like, you know, I just want to spend my time thinking about shit
there
that
just now?
is gonna move the world forward. I just don't care. I have no take on it. You know. I don't even really know the story of it. Like, I read a little bit about it just so if it came up on the Scuff podcast, like I would kind of know how to navigate it, but that's it. I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Will the YouTube video on Pretzel Rocks? Yeah, it will. I'm sorry it's late. I'm having a real sort of like spiritual crisis right now on marketing. So I just wrote a new guide for YouTube thumbnail creation. I wrote the guide for the lab, and right now we're trying to bring in new people to help do thumbnails in the lab. But we are, it's literally been 3 days. I don't have a thumbnail for the video, so I can't put it out. Like, our marketing is just not there. We are super, super behind in terms of like, the thumbnail and shit. And I've decided what I think I need to do is I might have to do like I talked to a lot of people about this, like big YouTubers and shit over the last couple of days. I think I need to do like I need to get some real designers.
If it's like bothering you,
I need to like mock up like a really shitty paint.
I listen to Devin Nash sometimes.
And then have them
he's a pretty good streamer, but he's also like a marketer. I do marketing,
and have someone else design.
I like kind of nerd out about that shit.
Because I was thinking about doing the whole thing, but then I was like, fuck, like I don't have time to like go figure out how to do Photoshop, how to do all that shit, and instead I'm just gonna have people that are really good at the design. And then, like, the whole point of the lab is to teach people marketing from the ground up.
Oh, really?
Good skills from the ground up. But I am looking for thumbnail people. It's in my Discord.
Oh, shit, you're right, actually.
Is this a guide for everyone or just your personal use? Right now, it's just a guide for the lab that I created. It's, maybe eventually I'll release it for everybody. It's definitely something that everybody could read.
That should be a lot better.
Like, I'll show you, like, a part of it.
Thanks for giving me the heads up. I totally didn't see that.
I'll copy over like a part of it. Like this is the guy I'm writing. So
my background sound setting.
I made these things called the golden questions of thumbnail design. Is it timeless? Does it convey a story? Is it high resolution? Are there 2 or less things happening? And then I try to go through the whole thing. I just make a couple pages of examples. But I'm just the situation I'm in right now is honestly, dude, like as respectfully as possible. The lab's sleeping. I just need more people that are interested because we're moving too slow. That's all it is.
I guess it does. It's kind of weird though. I guess maybe because my dagger skill isn't up to par. What's the lab? Sorry, I was just like, the lab is a group of people, invite only on our Discord. What we do is actually
we talk about marketing,
so I'm level
research,
27 right now.
And we think about how to build out brands, content creation.
We're almost halfway there.
Shit like that.
We're getting like 200 a pop though.
Like the best
Not
way
bad,
to do it.
and we're killing pretty fucking
give
fast.
Those people skills,
like a bunch of
so
people,
that they can transfer into the gaming industry if they want to, or they can put those skills on a resume,
bunch of people were
whatever. A lot of people
wanting to like
the lab and moved on to like stuff that's been
kill
really
crawlers in Rollenberry, but it wasn't like it just wasn't good, you know.
But
I feel like you just cap too fast. In my honest opinion.
Part of the lab? Thumbnail creation, 100%.
But we're fucking these guys up relatively quickly.
How
so.
does one get
and I'm
the
getting
lab?
dagger skill ups. So.
You have to have a skill. And then you get.
Oh, dude. That's what I need to do. I need to get on that. I'm just so bad when it like comes to
that's what I'm explaining right now.
like doing all my like craft skills.
Thank you so much.
I've always just been really bad at that.
Thank you so much, dude. Yo, the love today.
But for now, I mean that's part of the reason why I decided to do Thief, right? Just so I can like farm shit.
Thank you.
But hopefully it'll make things a little bit easier in the long run.
Like the situation with, we don't have thumbnail design, so we're just lagging. As for the VODs, I think yesterday I just wasn't proud of the show, and the day before that we're just
oh shit,
slow on thumbnail creation.
How long have you been working on it?
Why how do you get an invite?
I probably would start doing fishing if that's like, that's probably the skill I'm gonna start doing.
So discord.gg/Devin.
Shit,
right now we have
don't waste it. Don't.
Like a public thing. We're looking for people all the time. And generally, I'll try to get these people to move into like verticals in the gaming industry and shit like that. So there's an announcement right now on our Discord that has instructions on how to get in if you're interested, and if you have that skill set.
That's not horrible.
But
it's not
what
bad
I've
at all.
realized is I'm kind of looking for unicorns.
It's not
so
bad
I'm
at all.
looking for people that have good design knowledge,
the hard thing,
well,
actually, it's not even really that hard. The cool thing about Final Fantasy XI that I remember is that you could literally just like, you have the ability to do that. You just fish on one account and you just kind of have to hop back and forth between doing other things.
I'm going to do like paint concepts of what we're looking for.
I forgot what I was watching. I was listening to like some like podcast, and it's funny, like the comparison that a lot of people have compared to like newer games now is that there's always something to do, right? Like back in the day, like there's just always something to do. And I feel like where people kind of get mixed up in everything is that they feel like they need to complete everything.
This is not
when like
true in context creation, but I think that this
I
is
feel
true
like old school Final Fantasy 11 and even like old school World of Warcraft, for instance, it was just about like playing the game and like being in the world.
So
really interesting. I started playing not on stream because I feel like maybe it'd be a little boring. But I started playing the old like dot hack games, and yeah, they're like really bad, but like it's a really funny thing because it kind of takes you back in time to that era where it literally was like you're just trying to like go into like a new world. Oh, there we go, 240 experience with one EXP chain, so that's pretty good.
Normally,
but yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fun. Like I honestly, I play Final Fantasy 11 casually. Like people always try to say like, oh, you can't play these games like casually. Like it doesn't work. No, you just can't like beat the game casually. You can't get the very best shit casually. Like
2021, like
you can fucking play these games casually.
1 and 5 will be something different from what I've done before.
Everyone just has to get their participation.
I think I should do that for like a lot of the things that I'm doing.
I'm not even that guy, but that's like I feel like for like video games, that's exactly how that is.
I haven't seen you in a bit. I saw your
yeah,
Twitter
it's totally doable
picture.
casually.
It was interesting.
Like I'm cool with not like.
Do you run A/B tests?
In fact, actually, I prefer it, right? Because like for how much content is in the game, and me, I'm on Nasomi right now, so it's like.
How you been, Jade? You can't A/B YouTube.
You know, it doesn't even have like all the game's content,
I mean,
but
you can, kind of,
for how much content is in the game, if you play it casually, you'll have shit to do for like years and years to come. Like there's no reason why you wouldn't.
No, but unironically though, like I could.
And
put
it's not even like
video of me, like beating
some of the stuff's like
extreme
tedious, yeah. Like the grind, like some of the grinding stuff's tedious, but like.
So what he's saying is like A/B testing means.
It's not like you're just doing stuff just to do it. Like I feel like when I played Final Fantasy 14 for that while,
it's called split testing. It's one of the
it just felt like I was just doing things just to do it, just to complete it.
Literally just tell your boss.
And it wasn't like I was just doing it just because I had fun doing it. I don't know. That's just how I felt.
So have you guys
also, there's a lot of things about Final Fantasy 14 I'm not a big fan of, but
where you open a pack of M&Ms.
That's my opinion.
You crunch the M&Ms together and you try to find the strongest M&M. In business, this is essentially that progress. So that's that project, okay? You have 2 ads. Say the first ad says, "Gain Twitch subs now," okay? And the second one says, "Get more Twitch subs. Here's how."
Okay, these guys talking about.
What you do is you serve this to 100 people. One person gets the first ad.
Still 200 XP.
One person
not bad.
gets the second.
Not too shabby.
One person gets the first. One person gets the second, and it just splits them. And it goes all the way to 100 or 1,000 or whatever. And then what you do is you look at what's called the CTR or the conversion rate.
There we go.
And you look at which one overperforms. Then
yeah,
you run
actually, it's funny that you said chore is the proper word for that.
Until you run out of money,
and like
you run out of patience.
I'm gonna like me dropping a hot take for anybody who's a 14 fan, but like
and
people are not nicer in 14.
Really
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They're really not. They're just not.
There was a book called
like I went and I would try to reach out to people like all the time to do content and shit, like trying to get like some of the better gear, because like by the time I beat Shadowbringers, it was like right before that last bit of storyline came out. It was like 5.4 or something like that, or 5.3, some shit. 5.35, some shit.
So there was a book called Drug Dealing
for
Fun and Profit.
And I'm sitting there trying to like farm like some of the best gear, whatever. I'm thinking like
the author really wanted to go.
I'll farm the best gear and then I'll pretty much be done because I don't really feel like doing anything else.
Took it to the publisher. And like one of these smart
and then like when I come back to the game, right?
So
when it's time, like when the next expansion comes, because to be fair, finally, I thought Shadowbringers, it was not like as good as people said it was. Like they were like, oh, this is like the best Final Fantasy story ever. The fuck it was. It was definitely not. If you think that, then you probably haven't played a Final Fantasy game. But like,
came up with the name
or any other Final Fantasy game.
Which is Tim Ferriss's
but like,
best-selling book.
it was. I had fun with it, like the story, anyways. Game, it feels like a one-player game, and it doesn't really quite feel like a Final Fantasy game to me, in my opinion. But whatever. But that was the game plan.
So that's A/B testing.
I went and tried getting parties to do stuff, like ask people, like everyone just like told me to fuck off, and then or just didn't respond. And then on top of that, it's like
So you can't
I
A/B
just
test
pretty
YouTube
much kind of
thumbnails, and the
weasel my
reason
way
is
into parties and like just try to
you're
figure
gonna
out the
get a
content on my
vastly
own, right?
different-
Just trying to like get it done.
It's really,
And like
really difficult.
apparently I
like,
wasn't the only one
amount of stuff
because
I would have to
that was like
explain
what a bunch of people were doing.
to
And like there's people
explain
just
why
like
you
getting
can't
super
A/B
pissed,
test
like what the
thumbnails
fuck?
is
Like
gonna take a really
I
long
said
time,
this is
and most
we
people
only
don't
like
care.
need like the best
But
of the best in
short
these
of
parties.
it
Like
is that the way that YouTube
honestly, it's like I
algorithm
couldn't even get a
works,
chance to get in a party to even
this is gonna
start
be
the
overly
fucking
complex,
content,
so I'll just
let
explain it
alone
really short. The way that YouTube's algorithm
like master the
is,
shit.
it serves users from multiple different demographics, multiple different areas.
Yeah,
And you don't
I kind of feel the same
get
way.
a similar user on an A/B test because of the way that their algorithm serves. Even though there are actual mechanical ways, like
I think that's probably how it is, and it's funny because like I play so many like online. I've mostly played online games in like my gaming experience.
Which you are doing
I've played a bunch of
that
single
on
players,
YouTube,
but I think
AdWords
for
and,
how many
Facebook,
games I've played,
because
I've
you
played
can
a
target
ton of
advertise.
like MMOs.
So, for
like
example, I can target
I remember
advertise
back
on
from like
Facebook to
2000,
25-year-old men with
I would
hats.
probably say like 2009,
And
maybe
I
even
can
8 to
A/B
like
test among that demographic
2013.
only for that thing.
I like
But
played
on YouTube,
so
I
many
will get way
like,
too diverse
like MMOs,
group
and
of people, and I won't know that A/B test will not be
some of them were just like
accurate.
really
because
good,
it
some
will
of them
be
were really
different
bad, but
demographics
like
that form the decision
nothing
quickly.
was really.
That's all I want to explain on this subject.
I always
It's too
felt
fucking
like they were always trying to like
hard. It would
copy
take
each
me,
other,
like,
and
30
like
minutes to explain the whole thing.
I don't
So,
know,
you
like
just trust that
when it comes to casually playing something, it's sometimes like I don't know if I can even like casually play like 14 even still. It's like if I've got like story content to do, then like I can casually play that because then it feels like a one-player game, right? And so it's like nowadays I feel myself like unless I'm playing like Final Fantasy 11 or something,
I'm
or
not just
like
gonna trust it, but I'll stop.
I don't know, like
if you
sometimes I
don't wanna
might fuck
trust it,
around with
but
like an
that's fine,
RTS
Switch, it's
and
fine.
play like online doing that. But
I have nothing to lose by you not trusting.
I've been having a lot more fun playing single-player games again.
Wouldn't you technically have to post the same video?
I actually just started doing besides the dot hack thing. That game's like
since a lot
I'm
of
just playing it
these are
to like
mostly a timing
redo the
thing,
story because I played it when
you
I was
just
younger.
can't do
So
it with
the
the way
game
that
itself
you've
is
done
actually
it.
probably pretty bad. So I wouldn't like recommend
but
buying
with
it.
something like
But
because you need it's
I don't
like,
know. It's just one of those nostalgia things. But Horizon Zero Dawn,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
pretty
but if
fire
you're gonna
game.
Explain it, sure.
I had a bunch of friends tell me it was good. I just never tried it before. I'm really glad I did because I'm having a good time with it. I might try to stream it a
Just
little bit
fucking
more.
Explain the whole thing, dude.
I'm looking forward to the sequel already, even though I haven't
Now
even
I'm
beat it
curious
yet.
if I think you should apply based on the thumbnail. Yeah, I think you
Ooh,
should.
can I get it? Can I get it? Bam! Got him.
Is that some sort of video worthy of making into a stream? I don't know. The problem is that YouTube cares about a very specific type of stuff. And
Viv, what
there's a lot of
what type of games do you typically like?
there's not a
Are
lot
you
of
into
like
like
I think
single
I'm pretty
player
limited
more?
in
Or?
what I can post on this channel to be TBH, dude.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
think you're
I
right.
thought at
Actually,
some point I might do like another platform.
Gift
like a
definitely
Patreon or
like I'm
something
curious
where
as
I
what
post
you're more
things
interested
about
now, the
content
single player experience or the
You can't
multiplayer,
really
but I
sell
feel
an
like
A/B testing video that goes on for 30 minutes.
I don't know.
About that shit to like the
Yeah,
5 people that care about
I
it.
understand what you're
So
saying,
maybe I'll
and
do
that's
it,
partially due to like marketing for video games now, and then on top of that, just like the
thank
sales
you,
model.
Maybe I'll do it later. But
Obviously, everything is due to like microtransactions and shit now, or like most people don't sell you.
I've thought about
Most people don't even
making a
sell you full
Patreon,
games, and this is
and
actually
then
why,
just
right?
charging $5
This is
or
why-
whatever the, like minimum tier is, and just putting
As much shit as I talk
there.
about Final Fantasy
So that everybody
14,
has,
the
like, a
one thing I
place to
can
go
give
from.
Final Fantasy
So many
14
people
is the
ask.
fact that they do stay
Thanks, Eric.
on the
Appreciate it,
pay-per-month
man.
model, right? I
Yeah,
can't
that's
take
like
that
a
away
Patreon thing.
from them because
Um,
that's when you know at least. I mean, it might not be my cup of tea because I'm not like. I
think
feel like
vlogs are dead.
sometimes you have to
Vlogs
be
aren't dead.
insanely fucking casual for some of that content,
Nothing's
like
dead.
just
Even
stupid
banner ads
casual.
aren't dead. There's always a
Um,
niche for it, always a way.
But like
I don't want to make a second.
at the
YouTube
very
channel. I
least, I
wanna
know
focus
they
completely
do
on this
listen to
channel and
most
make
of the
mostly good
fan
videos
base
it.
for that
Thank you
intended
for your
audience.
live. 1 million.
And that's why they're
YouTube
not
subs
like
would
killing
be
them with
unreal, but I
microtransactions.
think
And any of the
setting a goal
microtransactions
of
they
200
do
I basically
are
want to set a goal to
do.
double it every year. So that puts
But
us at
any of the stuff
200K
they
next
do
year,
is just like cosmetic shit, right? It's not actually stuff that like really
I think that's like a pretty good plan. And if we go
makes you better than anyone
great.
else in the game. You can like skip content and shit like that, but that's not detrimental, I don't think, to anyone else's experience
if people
per
bug
se.
you about it, maybe it's because they want it. They're just saying they want it because...
Like, to be fair, like, if you had an alt or
right
something,
now.
right?
It's
like,
more
that
of a
would have been dope
psychology of
back in Final
they feel
Fantasy
like they
11
don't have
days if you
something
had an alt that
versus
didn't
flex.
have to, like, just go through and redo all the bullshit
dude,
again.
even among
Because all you really do
marketers,
is you just want your
the
alt to,
vast
like,
majority of
either
people
carry
do not
shit
A/B
for
test.
you or, like,
Even among people
heal
whose
you or just
job
whatever,
it
right?
is to do this, they don't A/B test. So nobody fucking cares about this. I'm just telling you. I have a good sense of it.
Huh.
I have a pretty good sense of it. People do care about.
Are there any
people
other
do care about
MMOs
content
that you
how to do it. I mean, that would do really well.
that you personally like
Probably
prefer,
like-
Viv?
Probably like
Because I'll be honest,
5 or 10 of every
I
100
can't
people in here
find
give
it.
a shit about that a lot.
But back in the day, like that whole like 2008 to like 2013 era that I was telling you about, where I like played I just played every free, or I mean sometimes it was like a little bit of paid MMOs that were out. A lot of like those
When your
indie
channel's
projects and
reach, how
stuff.
do you know there's
There
more
was
room to
one
grow?
that was kind of like it was
well,
maybe
there's
like a
always room to
30.
grow. I've thought about that a lot.
Was it 32 bit?
Because
I don't know. It was one of those like older like
this
retro
channel
style
has a lot of
MMOs.
directions.
It almost kind of looked like Habbo
Right
Hotel,
now,
but it
the
wasn't
problem
Habbo
with the
Hotel. It was like
past
a
10
it was not
10
Habbo
videos
Hotel. Not at all.
Is that they're too Twitch focused.
But it was
But
like
this
it
channel
had like a
isn't
full
niched
world and
into
everything,
Twitch. I
and
don't
like
wanna
you
be
could
either.
see all your equipment,
It just
but
so
you just
happens
it
that a
had like
lot
a
of shit
retro
went down
feel
with,
to
like,
it. It was
Twitch
pretty
UK.
sick.
But like even then, like 3 of these videos are esports videos.
Anyways,
So
I'm
we
trying to
have
look for
Twitch
like maybe
esports
like a game
gaming
like that, like
distributors,
something
which
different, because I
already,
feel
think,
like
on its own is
I feel like maybe I've been
if I
fucking up
just
by going
covered
forward
esports
in
and gaming
like the
shit,
MMO
like
genre.
business topics,
But maybe if
that
I went
alone
backwards,
is
maybe
like
I'll find something I
a
like.
$500,000 ceiling, right? A lot of people have gotten like 500,000 views or things like that.
And
but the real vertical
Night
that I wanna
Online,
jump
I haven't
into,
tried it. I can
and
look it up though.
Maybe we'll get there
I'll actually
over
look
the
it up
course
here in
of
a
the
second.
next year. Is financial.
By the way,
I want
EverQuest.
to get into financial. Financial
EverQuest
is
was
OP.
actually a game I
CPMs are
wanted
really
to
high.
play.
You do a lot of
I
good for
never
people,
ever got to play it, but
and
so it's really
the,
funny. Like the whole dot hack thing kind of goes back to what I was
the
talking
views
about.
are really high too. So like that will
I think I've
eventually
talked
be the
about it a million
vertical I go
times, but
into.
like it's funny. Like the dot hack
I'm
games,
not a
pretty much
person that, like, is gonna stay in,
a
like,
lot of
one
it
lane.
replicates
I
like
will just,
old
like,
play
keep
online,
branching
and
out.
like
I think
I've read
this
some
is the
stuff where
beginning of
they've
this
said
YouTube
that
channel, not the end at all.
the dot hack creators were
like, if I
inspired
don't know
by
how
play
big
online of
the-
Final Fantasy 11.
The window is for just
That's
like
how they
Twitch
got
shit.
like their whole email
Like, if
interface
all
and
I
shit
did
like that.
was stay covering, like,
But,
Twitch news and shit like that, I don't know where I'd end up.
Yeah,
But,
EverQuest. It's funny because because EverQuest was out
There's
before
no
Final
way I'm
Fantasy
gonna do
11.
that. There's no fucking way I'm gonna do
But
that.
I actually
I'm
knew
definitely
about
gonna go super
EverQuest
hard on
before Final
the,
Fantasy 11, and I think it like just come out, but it was
on,
like
the other like verticals I
Japanese
can
or
do.
something, and the marketing hadn't really hit. The United States yet for it,
And,
so I was like, that was the first thing I wanted to do. I was
have to
actually
think about
saving
this
up
a
to play
lot because
to get
this
EverQuest.
is a
And,
very careful place, but
I don't know. I
also
just ended
know
up
that I
seeing
have
Final
to
Fantasy
connect
11 and
to be,
being like,
the
oh
preeminent
shit, you
authority
know
on
what?
content creation next to, like,
I
Gary
like
Vee.
Final Fantasy because I like played 7 and 8 and
looking
stuff
at,
like
like,
that,
Gary Vee
and
ceiling,
9.
That's yet another direction I could go.
I didn't
So,
actually have those
Gary
like
Vee's, I don't
game
know what Gary
systems,
Vee's
but
at right
like
now. It's something fucking insane. I
my
think it's a
friends
little
did,
bit
and that's why I
pretentious
played them.
to
And then I
get
ended up
there,
getting
but, like,
10. I did when the PlayStation 2 came out.
2.9
I
mil.
was like, shit,
And
Final
he's in the-
Fantasy
basically
is
the
like,
financial
I
content
love
creation
like
category,
that
so
brand.
CPMs are like $30.
So it
So
makes sense,
I'm not
right? I
worried
should
about this
probably
at all, because
play
I
Final
could
Fantasy 11.
segue into content creation,
And I'm
but
actually
I
really
just
glad I
don't
did
wanna
though, because
be-
I still,
I don't want to become a
from what it
salesman
looks
for
like
it.
to me, I still think Final
Um,
Fantasy 11 is the superior game.
Fuck, it's
I could be
such
wrong,
a good
but that's just what it
it's
appears
such
to
a
be.
good vertical to do, and I could do it so easily.
Based off of my
like,
super
if I sold
biased
a course for like $100 or
opinion
even $200
and
or whatever,
look.
that was like just it's like 40 videos I make, homework, step-by-step process. It's like, this is how you
But
do
I've heard,
this.
actually, I've heard
I'd be
EverQuest
the
still
only
has like a
one
pretty
that
big.
has actually done it, that made it, and it would be so worth the money.
I heard like the
But
private. There's like
I
there's like a
just-
really
I
huge private
feel
server, isn't there?
like there's
I mean, maybe it's not
some
as huge as I think it is,
aspect of
but
selling out with that shit. I don't want to be a dude
oh
that
hell yeah,
it-
46.
I think the thing that is so attractive,
In my opinion, it is too.
to
It's actually funny too because when I went through that whole period of trying to find MMOs, I found a bunch of experiences that were very unique. But nothing ever quite scratched the itch that Final Fantasy 11 did.
I just do it to provide.
No worries, man.
So I gotta like really think about that. People will call you a sellout. Is the financial gain worth the negativity or bad rap? People already call me a sellout. People call me whatever the fuck they want. It's not about the people. It's about my personal.
Ooh, got me hit a little bit.
And here's the thing, okay? This is, I know if I make a concentrated effort. So if I make a product,
damn 91.
If I make
that's what I'm talking about.
That teaches content creation, I'm gonna sell it. Here's why, okay? And people might cap me on this, but people that are in business will know this is the truth, okay? If you pay for something, you will treat it much more seriously than if you don't. So there has been a bunch of stuff done on self-improvement products that get given to people that are like courses for free. And the open rates of products that are, so get this, okay, this is gonna be fucking crazy, but Tony Robbins put this out. Tony Robbins runs a company called Robbins Research, and it's like, he's one of the most preeminent self-improvement people in the world. And what they did was they looked at, you guys are this is gonna blow your fucking minds, okay? The average price to get a Tony Robbins course is $490, okay? Now, I'm gonna have the chat guess by percentage, what do you think the number of people that open that product is for $490? What percentage do you think? How many people open it? Good guesses. It's 10%. So that means out of the people that pay an average of $490 for that course, 10% of the people even fucking open the product. Even try the product. 10%. Right? So now imagine how many people just toss something away for free. If you can charge for something and you get a 1 in 10 adoption rate. And fucking giving something away for free, nobody's gonna take that shit. When you sell something to someone, they feel like there's a transaction there. And they say, okay, this is something that I paid for, that I need to make it worth. And so even if I charge for a course, the vast majority of people will just still not ever use it. But at least 10% will versus nothing else. So that's what that's what I'm kind of like thinking around that. But like I have to think really long and hard about how I do that if I want to, because it's not about the money. It isn't. It's about if I think I want to go that vertical and I want to be like a guy that helps people create content and shit. I'm not sure, but that's definitely the kind of shit we're going to be thinking about in 2021.
Hey, Devin, really big fan of your YouTube video.
I'm an online marketing for my career and everything Devin Nash said is 1000% true. It's why a lot of 997 courses run an online business from home each end up doing surprisingly well. Yeah, 100% Swag Emperor. The other crazy thing about that is, so this is another fucking crazy thing about that. If you guys want to just, like, some interesting marketing stats like that. Another really crazy one is that you can put a money-back guarantee on any product, and your return rates will be less than 2%. Jake Paul's fucking bullshit marketing course, which was literally just uploaded videos from YouTube that are available for free, had less than a 5% return rate. And it was just a scam. It was literally just a scam. Less than a 5% return rate. So, and you didn't have to do anything. Like you could literally go onto a website, you could click a button. It wasn't like hard to return. You go on a website, click on a button and say, I'd like to return this, and then you get a refund. Like the amount of, like, not only will people buy your product, but the amount of people that will actually return it, if it's even remotely useful, is like so small.
What the fuck?
This is fucking bananas, dude. Hey man, fan of your YouTube and I love your approach on things, making YouTube content and making new connections on our platforms that grow my stream. Thanks, dude. Good luck. Thank you for the 3. Appreciate it. A 10% open rate is great. Yeah, 10% open rate on sold products is very good. What topics you haven't put out for free on your YouTube yet? Oh man, a ton of shit. Like, I could build a course pretty easily that would be a ground-up way to get from like 0 to 1,000 viewers. And if you did everything in it, and you put in the work, you'd have a real good shot at doing it. And it would probably take me like, I'd say like 30 to 40 videos to do. I'd give a lot of homework, writing projects, questions and answers, stuff like that. It would work. It would be the best thing out on it. And I just need to think about like if that's something if that's a direction I want to do. I don't know. The point is, 2021 is we're going to be thinking about like those directions what we want to do. Is part of the reason you don't want to do a course on content creation because you don't really believe content creation is as valuable as a career path? It's a really good question. I'll take your class, but I'm poor as fuck. Every product I've ever released in my life, there is always an option to send me an email with a very good reason why you should get the product, and I'll send it to you for free. If you truly don't have the income, but you're hungry and you're trying to do it, every product I've ever released in my life since I was 16 years old has always had that option. So you can always send me an email and I'll give it to you for free. If you're truly, truly down and out and you just want to grind and you're going to promise to work, like, if you make a good reason, I'll do it. How many people have sent you that email? Not many, but the people that have really needed it, I think. And usually come back later and give me the money. Man, that's such a good question in chat by Fresh. I don't know. Content creation is this let me tell you some things about content creation.
It's funny, actually. I think I want to,
because I'm really, really, really divided on
I actually think I'm going to start doing like drum lessons or something
on one
here.
hand,
I
know
or
that
at least
content
like
creation
fucking around and like editing some
can
stuff.
add a lot of good into the world when a person is responsible with their platform.
It's a little rough because I think my DAW will knock out anything that Streamlabs wants to like take audio-wise. So I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I haven't really tested it. But I know that like I can hook up my electronic kit.
Like trying to become an authority on it.
And I even thought about like maybe going over like some of like the Drumeo content that they put out and then kind of like breaking down how some of those guys do that shit.
I'm really lucky to know most of the content creators on a personal level in the top 1%.
Dude, if wait, do you play guitar already?
And they're just not happy.
Do you just not have one?
Like,
or are you looking to learn to play guitar?
It didn't get them to the place they wanted to be in life. Like, content creation at a high level is a very neurotic job and gets you a lot of negativity and a lot of hate. And it's really, really hard to parse through. And the people that I know that are at the top of it are not happy even if they have millions of dollars. So that's number one. Number two is...
I can tell you this.
I know that even if I provide the best resources I
taught myself how to play guitar.
The percentage chance of people actually succeeding and getting to the top is just astronomically low.
Oh, true.
So to some extent, that means
you can always
that
look
I'm
up tabs and stuff. I mean, like,
shit,
if you're tuned in E,
for 7 months,
E flat, or
dude,
D,
thank you.
and
by
doing that, you just have to memorize like whenever you're literally you have like the tuner or like a tuner app on your cell phone.
Are the people that have really fleshed out lives outside of
the
Twitch.
Lowest string is E,
and
Eddie 8 Dynamite
they
Goodbye
don't take Twitch
Eddie
as like a
type
primary
shit.
means. Like take like
E,
Coke
E flat
right?
D.
Who has like a wife and kids.
Those are like you pretty much can play the exact same power chords, just
and lives like a pretty personal life outside of that with
and it'll
friendships
sound good.
And hobbies and shit like that.
You
that
can put that
happy.
almost
But
over
man,
anything, and it's like
if you look at
anywhere
like, you
from
pull
3
a
to
list
4
of
to
any of the
5
guys
chords.
like pulling 200 hours
and once you learn
a
them,
month or whatever on Twitch, and those guys are
it.
not there. They're not fulfilled for the vast majority of people. It's.
What is this guy saying right now?
Are you worried that even if you put out a product, people who will get into content creation for the wrong reasons, clout, money? Yeah.
But yeah, no, I want to do some drum stuff. So I have the camera that's being used right here is it's actually a decent one. It's my Canon M50, but I do also have
I would say
I do also
I'm
have
not happy on the regular, but that's not
webcam,
my main
right?
KPI for
So
life.
I'm not using it right now, but what I could do is I could have
that's why I
could set up Streamlabs with both of them and get like different angles.
Live my life alone.
You know,
like
and then have like different things set up. Because like that's kind of what I thought I could do with like sheet music and stuff like that.
I was walking to work today.
Although I'm
the only one in the office complex.
Not sure what the legality of that is.
I remember
I'm a little sketched on doing that and then putting out like YouTube content based on that.
Or it was like around my first date when we started getting serious. I told her.
Pretty sure that's copyright.
Making an impact on the world is my number one. And if
we already know Twitch is going crazy on that shit right now. You need to tell me it's okay, but that's I just don't want to get too
far. What happens next. That cost me a relationship. Actually, now I think about it, probably cost me.
I wonder if there's a way for me to like get past that.
I've ever had.
There probably is.
And I was walking to work, and I passed.
I gotta figure out how those people do like
some people that were like visiting their families.
Like I see people do it on Instagram, and I've seen people do it like on YouTube, but I always thought they edited it like a different way.
Their dad and mom are,
but it seems like there's got to be like a program or something that has like the notes that go like.
Just let me finish.
Let's say it's like.
And
where's my mouse?
You know, I felt
so, like,
that
if you're looking on screen, right?
That could
like,
be me. You know, I'm
at
older,
the bottom bar, there'll be like the notes of music.
I should have a wife like that.
And then like the drummer's just like drumming to it, and then you just kind of follow.
Walking to work, all these people are like going to see their families on Thanksgiving.
That's kind of what I would.
And then I had this like very visceral reminder. This like I chose this. Like this is this is the price. Right, if you. But yeah,
that's my game plan. I just got to figure out how the fuck they do that.
Where you're making a real
There's got to be like some kind of program or something.
This is what you do, and I was okay with that. Like it's. But what I'm saying is like. That means that I made the conscious choice to not necessarily value happiness as my greatest goal. I value impact.
Why can I not steal from this rabbit?
That was my choice.
Oh, I know why.
I don't regret it.
Yeah, sure enough. Had too much shit in my inventory.
And I just I just thought about that. It's not. I'm not trying. I hope it doesn't sound depressing because it's not. It's not a depressing thing. It's just like a very profound choice. So do you think happiness is something that shows that the top 1% of content creators?
I definitely could do like a Twitch overlay for that stuff. But like I want.
I can tell. I don't think I know a single content creator in the top 1%.
I think I'm probably gonna have like if
that's like actually
let's say I'm trying to teach a piece of music, or maybe I'm trying to run over some exercises.
Like getting drunk every night, or on like antidepressants, or like real fucked up in different ways.
I'll probably have to program that because basically what ends up happening is like you start it and then
society
it will
teaches you
go
this
with
super
you.
Real. I
forgot the name of the content creator, but I saw them doing it, and I was like,
you that, like,
how the hell is that guy doing that shit live?
It's all you think about if you don't have it.
I don't know how he did it.
I'll
probably have to like go back and message him and see.
Dumbass that I
just
always
ask him.
Was. It's just that like I've got
because
like,
I thought
money
that was
can get
incredibly
super stressful.
interesting.
Like I remember worrying about my bills and what that felt like. And like, oh shit, am I gonna make enough money in my fucking like computer business?
Hopefully he answers
to be able
me.
to pay my rent. And like that's a
it's also
different
possible
kind of
he
stress.
just wouldn't answer me.
But as soon as you clear up all that shit, you sweep the skeletons out of your closet. Now you've got the existential dread.
Actually too. Now that I think about it,
and I think that's a lot worse.
Let me turn down Devin Nash because he is drowning me out. I don't know if he's drowning you guys out, but he's drowning me the fuck out. Yeah. So when it comes to like that content, I feel like. I feel like to do it properly, I definitely would have to have that shit like kind of ready to go way beforehand. Yeah, I know. He was like in my head and he was like fucking up my thoughts because like I'm reading chat, I'm looking at the game, and I'm also trying to think about what I'm saying. And I've got ADD like a motherfucker. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, so like the end goal is to like, I don't know about where you guys live. I know that living in Florida, they're cutting off like a ton of like music programs and stuff, right? So I feel like it'd be a cool way to give back. I know when I was a kid, I couldn't really afford like drum lessons. I remember it's actually crazy. So my mom she got like a promotion for a while. She became like a regional manager of like Bell's Outlets, and but then like that position got like taken away. But in that short period of time, I remember I did have like some drum lessons. I got like a few, but it's just crazy because like I remember having like a band teacher back then. This is like drumming was like, I mean, I used to like tour and stuff, and like I did quite a bit. What is going on right now? Hold on a second. So stand. Oh, idiot. But I remember one time, and I'll never forget this. I had a band teacher. She was such a bitch. She like legitimately told me, she's like, you're never gonna go anywhere if you don't get lessons. And like legitimately, I think I had lessons for like 2 months, like, and it was like a once a week thing for like 30 minutes. So it really like wasn't shit. And the guy didn't even really teach me like that crazy amount of stuff. But I remember once YouTube came out, I was pretty much like, I would just study everything I could. So I would go and like watch like all the drum videos that I possibly could. And like once I kind of got a grasp on reading music, it was pretty much game over. Like I just knew that like, okay, all I have to do is I just have to like study and like try to play through things that are way harder than I think that I was, way harder than my skill level necessarily was at the time. I feel like there's a lot of people that don't get that. And there's a lot of people that don't, especially kids, and like there's a lot of band directors that just don't know like the staple books to like have like young drummers go through. And some of them are even discontinued now, and there's not really like a replacement, which is crazy. So to me, I don't know, I see that as being like really valuable. And honestly, if they're discontinued, maybe there's even a way for me to like, I'll have to look into the legality of it, but like, you know, if I could probably put up like a Google Doc or something with like the PDF of like maybe the sheet music, maybe I'm pushing it here, but I'm not trying to get my ass sued by like some of those companies, but it's possible, you know, who knows? Oh, come on, no, god damn it. Oh, I don't want to waste it. Come on. Wasted. But yeah, that's like my goal. I do want to do something nice, because again, I just remember what it was like being a little kid, being like super passionate about something, and it was just by a series of events that like I ended up being able to kind of do what I could do, right? I was super fortunate. I found some good friends who were a little bit better at guitar than the average kid, and we were able to write some cool songs and go tour. I ended up getting a job at a Sam Ash, so there was a bunch of good drummers that came through, and I was able to learn from all of them. A bunch of Latin drummers, a bunch of gospel drummers, heavy metal guys, like funk. It doesn't really matter. Jazz. Actually, if you know who Buddy Rich is, like somebody's considered the best drummer in the world. I think for his time he definitely was, but and like a huge jazz icon. He, I actually ended up meeting one of his students, like one of his, and not like one of those like secondhand students, but like a direct student, and that was like incredible. He used to come through every now and then, and the knowledge that I got from that guy was stupid. Definitely wouldn't trade that for the world. Also, too, I want to look up that game, Night Online, actually. I'm kind of, let's take a look. I bet I can make it happen. Here we go, got the sneak attack. They're on their own. It's called Night Online. Yeah, so that's like the cool thing, because I feel like you're not the only one, right? Especially if you're busy, you got shit to do, people got kids. There's a bunch of people who want to pick up old hobbies or like maybe get a new hobby. Or maybe like you could be like a musician who just wants to like better their craft or something. I'm lucky. I feel like I got to a pretty high level like when I did it in college and everything, and just from playing around and doing things professionally for a while. That I don't know, I feel like I could just give back, and it's like it's cool because when you have shit like that where people are just giving you, where the information is just out there and you're getting the answers, then it's like you can kind of take it at your own pace, right? No, there's no pressure. That's really like the mindset behind it, right? Like all you'd have to do is just like get like a pair of sticks and like maybe get like a drum pad or something, right? And literally at your own pace, you could just be like, oh, you know what, I think I'm gonna do a little bit today, and it's just fun. You know, you could not pick it up again for a week and at least you're just having fun doing something, right? Little before you know it, you're probably able to like jam to some songs and stuff, right? I think that shit's super cool, because that's like how I learned how to play guitar. I go months without picking up my guitar, and you know, I just fucking, I don't know, just learn like little chords and shit like that here and there and just jam with it. That's really all it's about, right? Like unless you're trying to do things like professionally, or even actually, let me clarify, like, because a lot of people have like the wrong thought process, I think, behind a lot of this. A lot of people think that like when I say professionally, they mean just like, oh, anytime you get paid, it's like a professional gig. I've heard that so many damn times. That's like so far from the truth. Yeah, you can play a gig, like you can play at like your local bar or like just like a local thing and be really bad. Like you could be horrible. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. So like if you just want to go out and like have fun, that's all that matters, right? And you'd be surprised, the skill cap to do that is pretty low. Is this the game you were talking about, by the way? I feel like I played this before.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Today I played a strange MMORPG called Night Online. This MMORPG has been around since 2002, so you may or may not have heard about it. But before I do go any further talking about this MMO, I'd like to point out that this is absolutely filled with players, which really shocked me. To think an MMORPG that's been around since 2002 having a thriving population of players, when most MMORPGs nowadays can't live past a few years before getting shut down, or looking at Bless Online, maybe not even making it to a year.
I'm gonna have to like multitask this shit.
Incredibly strange. Something must be really wrong with the MMORPG market, or this game is absolutely amazing. Or both.
Oh, hold on a second. There is something wrong with the MMORPG market. It's fucking horrible right now. Like, I'm actually, so here's one game I will be playing. I fucking promise I will be playing it when it comes out. Ashes of Creation. That is the only thing that seems like it has the ambition that Final Fantasy XI did when it first came out. You can quote me on that shit. Even if I'm wrong. I hope I'm not wrong though, because that would be awesome to have like a new game that had the excitement that Final Fantasy XI did. But let's continue. Oh, wait, let me get that sneak attack real quick. Get that sneak attack real fucking quick. And also weapon skill. Okay, cool. And then let's go back to the trailer. Okay, is New World good? I thought I saw Asmongold playing it. Like he got that beta pass or whatever. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't quite sure. Like, it looked kind of like just like an action-based RPG. And I wasn't quite, man, I wasn't sure how I felt about like some of the movement animations and stuff. Anyways, yeah, so I saw it and I was like, well, this is supposed to, isn't that, because that's Amazon's project. Well, so here's the thing, right? It's funny you say that because I think he liked it. I just watched his gameplay of it. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we can continue this real quick.
Or maybe this game is just an addictive MMORPG.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for it.
Either way, food for thought. Rambling over, however, let us talk about what this game is actually about. For those of you...
Can you still get access to it right now? Or is that a no?
Who don't know. Night Online, from a first impression standpoint, is a relatively generic MMORPG. You've got your point-and-click movement style, with the same going for the combat, which is also point-and-click. So the first thing you'll notice is that it does have a good variety of class choices across both of the factions. Some of these races are unfortunate.
Yeah, so I definitely played Night Online. I know for a fact I did. I do remember the point-and-click. Do you know when New World's supposed to be coming out? Because, like, I mean, fuck it. I mean, I guess I'll try that one, too. Like I said, Ashes of Creation seemed to be the one that, like, sparked my interest. But, the fact that, like, you can, like, build up towns and shit, and, like, they can be taken over, and there's, like, raids of towns. I thought that was, like, pretty fucking sick. 2021 sometime, so yeah, they're probably not gonna do shit for a while then. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm hoping the feedback they got from that beta, like, really pays off. Like, how sick would that be to have, like, just have 2 new crowned kings of, like, MMO just pop up out of nowhere? Because, like, New School WoW and fucking Final Fantasy 14 just aren't it, in my opinion. Plus, like, I want better graphics. Don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 14 looks pretty good for what it is. But the gameplay is kind of dog shit. And, like, dude, they don't even have, like, elemental weakness. Like, they dumbed it down that much. Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the... Why does there, like, even, like, black mages and shit? I don't understand. It's pretty funny. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. All right. Here we go. This might start something, but
by chance, have any of you guys heard of a game called Ashes of Creation? What about New World? Anybody? Oh, am I kidding? Of course you have. Who hasn't, dude? These 2 mega titan ambitious MMORPGs being developed to take the crown as the #1 MMO in the world?
That's exactly what I said, right? Hopefully that happens. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm getting a little annoyed about one thing. There we go. Couldn't fucking see me for a second.
At least that's what all the comment sections say beneath their respective videos. But only one can reign supreme, and today I want to go over the major features of each of these 2 games, compare them, talk about the pros, potential cons, and then we are going to determine once and for all which game is most likely to kick the other one's ass. Ashes of Creation or...
Oh, let's target this fucking guy real quick. So who do you think's gonna win the little rumble in his video? Have you looked up the Ashes of Creation stuff yet? Or like, what's your opinion? Because you said you played New World, so I'm curious.
For New World, everybody. Let's get right into it. Let's do it. Before we begin, though, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and if you're feeling extra dangerous, come watch me live over on Twitch during the weekdays. Now let's start by talking about Ashes of Creation, because A comes before N. Now, Ashes of Creation is a game set within its own special fantasy universe that is promising a lot of innovation to the MMO genre. Specifically with their node system, which is their biggest feature and selling point.
Oh shit,
clearly.
someone died. Oh,
now,
fuck.
Let me explain. This.
Alright, 1 second. Yeah, I'm poisoning this bitch. How the fuck did he die? Well, let's see what that guy says in the comparison. I'm pretty curious. I think, hopefully we get to, like, wait for a second. I know that completely goes against what I probably should be wanting here, but, I kind of want to watch that video. Now you got me curious about this. I'm literally hitting... Am I doing as much damage as... Okay, let's figure this shit out. Because I think they're gonna be waiting a while.
This is how the node system works in a nutshell. A node is, for all intents and purposes, a zone or just a chunk of the greater world map. Yeah. Now, when Ashes of Creation first launches, there will be 103 potential nodes, zones, whatever, for players to explore and settle in. As players kill monsters in the area, raid, and just gather resources in the zone, they will begin to advance the node, eventually forming small settlements in the area, villages, and then potentially even a metropolis. Shit. Which, these things act as the server's mega cities with a limit of...
Here's the thing, though. Play this game, I might even have to get, like, a new computer. Because this shit looks fucking dope. Like, my laptop's pretty good, but... I'm starting to wonder if that shit's gonna fucking... hold up, because my laptop is my laptop a year old? I think my laptop's like a year old now. It's got a 1660 Ti inside of it.
5 per realm. Now, the coolest part, in my opinion, is that the look of these developing towns and cities will reflect the dominant player race that is playing and settling in the node. So what that means is that if the majority of players contributing to a particular area are orcs, you will start seeing orc architecture popping up in that node as it advances. And that is amazing. Like a giant orc metropolis, man. That's awesome. You'll also see that as the node increases and how much it's being settled, this will lead to more quests, more opportunities for things like player housing, electing player officials to lead like the settlements, government.
Before we go on with that shit, I just want to say again, it doesn't really matter how good something looks, because again, I think Final Fantasy XIV genuinely looks incredible. That's just boring to me.
unlockable raids that are different for each node, and so on and so forth. You can even conquer and reduce other nodes to rubble in Ashes of Creation's mega-scale PvP battles, where defending players will quite literally fight against other bands of players who seek to destroy player-made settlements, villages, and even the capital cities, thus opening up the opportunity for other nodes to be settled. And watch out, because nodes, they just can't come under attack by players. They can also be attacked by NPC raids, which players will need to defend against, or they can take part in them. Yeah, you can actually play as the monsters, demons, bandits, or whatever that's attacking a town. You heard that right. And why would you do that? For fat loot, of course, man. And who doesn't want to burn down their own village? It'd be fun. And that, my friends, is my quick 2-second summary of what the node system has to offer. I haven't gone over everything, but we would be here all day if I did. Now, Ashes of Creation is boasting that because of this system, no two servers are going to be alike. I mean, think about it. On one server, you might have a realm full of dwarven cities scattered throughout the world. In another, it may end up being a bunch of orc cities versus human cities, or a combination of all of Ashes of Creation's various races. You just don't know. It'll be completely up to the players who are playing on each realm. But of course, right, this node system, you know, it could lead to some pretty big cons if it isn't done right. At least I think so. Now, what do I mean?
Okay, so
on one hand,
I'm glad he said it for a second, because I'm kind of curious as to where the line is going to be drawn on that. I kind of sort of feel like that the node system does have a chance to backfire if they are not super careful. I would not be surprised if they went and pulled back on quite a few things. I hope they don't have to pull back on too much, but that's just my opinion on that.
And I do worry about if Ashes of Creation is in over their heads with the nodes. 103 potential zones to settle, unique architecture for each race, different kinds of cities that fulfill different purposes, science cities, military cities. We didn't even get to talk about all that. You know, raids that are specific to each node. And my question is simple. Just how much variety are we going to see in this system?
I wonder how long,
or is it just going to be a lot of copy
they've
paste?
been working on this game.
Like, let's say, for example, we settle
like
node
3
A.
or 4 years
we build up a giant orc city like we were talking about before.
I feel like you need
and then
fucking
we
way longer
unlock
to
the
develop
raids
this
and the
shit.
quests in the zone. That's great. But let's say the node is destroyed by some humans. The orc players move off to node F. Are we going to just see the exact same city pop up again with the exact same quests and the exact same raid just popping up nearby and around the area? Like, with a system this ambitious, I worry that it's going to be a lot of copy and pasting across the world map. But I don't know.
True.
I also admit that I worry about server lag because of all of this. I mean, this sounds like a lot of stuff, guys. Players building up zones.
I mean, that's true. You got bandwidth.
Massive PvP battles where towns and cities are, you know, being put under siege by hundreds of players at a time. If Ashes of Creation does not have some powerful tech at launch, this is going to be a Lagapalooza launch experience. Like, this thing is going to put World of Warcraft's
Shit's going to remind us of the Dunes. We all know how that went down.
Lords of Draenor launch experience with the garrisons to shame. And that is my quick summary and thoughts on Ashes of Creation's biggest and most core feature, the node system. Pros, cons, yeah, dude. If you want to hear more about this game in detail in terms of classes, professions, and all that stuff, I'm going to save that for another video. Otherwise, again, we're going to be here all day, and we have another game to talk about. So let's move on to everybody's favorite conquistador roleplay simulator, New World. But before we do, I will say that if you are interested in signing up to play Ashes of Creation at launch, please consider using my referral link. It's down in the description at the very top.
Oh, shit.
I promise I will kill one gnome in World of Warcraft for every referral gained. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Okay, I think they're getting ready to pull. So before we start that, let's just get this shit set real quick. Alright. Maybe he's going to give a better explanation on New World. Because I feel like maybe, based off of your opinion, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I could be missing something. Still failing to steal. Wasp sting him. Oh. 12. Okay, fuck it. I think we're good for now.
So first of all, New World is a game being developed by Amazon.
I will say that.
Like that Amazon. Yeah, dude. They decided one day that they felt like developing their own MMO. Now, when you have as much money as Jeff Bezos, what sort of a game are you going to...
One second. Here we go.
...to order your minions to make for you? What is going to be your biggest selling point? Well, how about a classless adventure game similar to maybe like Skyrim, where you level up your weapons and magic as you use them? A game all about staking your claim on a mysterious island that's full of this immortality blessing blue magic, as well as an evil corruption that must be held back at all costs. But anyway, New World primarily focuses on these things called companies, which are pretty much guilds in other MMOs. Now, companies, what they can do is they can go and take over certain areas in the New World. And after doing so, they can do things like set tax rates for the players, establish community building projects like upgrading crafting stations in towns and villages, building up fort defenses, and so on and so forth.
All that shit sounds actually sick. So that changes my opinion on it, like, heavily, because I always wondered about that, like how the game starts. I always wondered how that was gonna work, and now that makes more sense, like with the classes and shit, or the class list system, I should say. Okay, it doesn't look like we're gonna die anymore. God damn it. Can I hit him from there? Okay, we're good. Don't do it.
So essentially, a company could take over an area and totally just oppress the people beneath its tyrannical boot, from what we know so far. It's a game that, from what I've read, focuses a lot on company territory control and player-made government, which is really cool from a social standpoint. I really like that, and I want to see how this, this feature gets expanded upon as like the game goes on, you know what I mean? However, before you freak out, guys, and I know you will, do not fear, because it is entirely possible that if some dictators rose to power on your server, you can establish a company of your own and wage war for control of their area. In a 50 versus 50 instanced battleground, players can sign up to participate, 2 companies will duke it out, and the victorious group of players will lay claim to the territory and become its new overlords. Now, New World has also revealed the idea of corrupted invasions that happen to towns and forts and villages, where every 4 days or so a territory will be invaded by demon monsters that inhabit this new landmass that you are trying to settle upon. Now, similar to the PvP battles to attack or protect a territory, you will sign up at a town notice board for the event, and if you succeed, glory is yours. But if you fail, the territory is going to suffer downgrades to its buildings, like a level 3 woodworking station might be damaged down to a level 2 or level 1, and it requires players to contribute resources to repair it. Now, I know what you're probably thinking right now, and that's that this all sounds kind of familiar. In fact, if you rewind this video just a few minutes, I pretty much mentioned all of this stuff being in Ashes of Creation, so let me talk about some New World cons real fast, and then I'm going to share some opinions that are probably going to make people crucify me in the comment section. So here's the thing with the New World.
Oh shit.
It is currently in open beta where people are able to check out the game and go hands-on, and the reception has been mostly positive, with a recurring theme of, hey, this game is good, but it's lacking a bit of polish. There's FPS drops, popping textures, a lack of quests, the combat's unpolished, and so on and so forth, just to name some of the things that I have read in comment sections or I have experienced myself when I've been streaming this over on Twitch. I'm going to make some more videos on New World here soon, sharing my experiences with this beta, like talk about things in more detail. But all that said, let me share with you all my conclusion on New World and Ashes after seeing what both games have to offer. So here comes the controversy. Here goes nothing. To me, all right, New World is great, and I've had fun playing it, but Ashes of Creation, New World, when you compare the core ideas of these two titles...
Wait, were those velociraptors?
it kind of seems like it's a very similar but less ambitious version of what Ashes is trying to become. And that's mind-blowing because, you know, consider the fact that New World is being funded by Amazon.
Does New World have Velociraptors?
Ashes of Creation, it just has so much more going for it with its node system, more potential mounts and collectibles thanks to its fantasy theme, more scale in its features like larger PvP battles to control territories, the player housing system, players having the ability to play as the monsters that attack nodes, and so on and so forth, man. Like, what's up? Really, I think the only thing that New World might surpass Ashes in is maybe stability. Like, seriously, stability. Because if New World is having issues with its beta right now with stability,
oh, true,
and Ashes is New World, but like on a much bigger scale.
That's a good point.
My God, can you imagine the issues that could potentially be plaguing Ashes of Creation when it launches? Bugs and popping textures and a lack of quests and all these nodes, just a lot of copy-paste stuff like I mentioned before. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I guess time is going to tell, but maybe Ashes of Creation is going to be a little too ambitious and New World is going to be the much more stable game. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that Ashes of Creation is going to be the superior MMO? Or do you think that the financial backing of Amazon is going to lead to a lot more stability and a lot more content coming out of New World, and that is going to be the more successful of these two? But either way, I guess we'll see what happens, man. We'll see, man. Ashes of Creation still has a ways to go, and we'll see what happens with New World and its release date. But, guys, leave your thoughts, leave your feedback down in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video if you liked it and if you think I look cute today. And I will see you all with my next MMORPG discussion. Thank you all for watching, guys. Big shout out to the supporters. See you live on Twitch.
So, any thoughts? Any opinions? What the fuck's going on here? Oh shit, my controller. I'm open to hear them. Honestly, both of them look good. That makes more sense now with New World, though. Like, my expectations can go down to what they should be, I think, now. I definitely should try New World on stream, though. I think it would just be fun. How close am I to leveling, actually? Speaking of which. I gotta be really fun. Oh, I already leveled. Oh, shit, I already leveled. What the hell? Give me that frost. Look at that. Look at that thing, huh? A little more defense on us now, huh? Oh, you bitch. You missed. There we go. Oh, got that crit too. Curious as
what do you think,
dude? If this game comes out,
yeah,
with everything that's been promised and it's polished, WoW's done.
All right, here we go, boys. Yeah, okay, man.
How's my sound quality, by the way? I'm on my phone driving to Vegas, and I'm like in the middle of the desert.
Surprisingly better than most streamers who make it a career to have their sound quality be pretty good.
Perfect.
Well, I wanted to say thank you very much for coming on and talking to us about this. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we all really appreciate it. I mean, like, I heard a little bit of your story about how you were kind of an MMO player who's been, you know, as many of us, a little bit, maybe felt a little bit neglected, and you thought about going your own way. And so this is something you've been working on. How long have you been working on the project for?
So, yeah, actually, you know, I started my first MMO RPG as a kid at 7 years old when it was like 1992, $6 by the hour to play on AOL. It was Neverwinter, the first Neverwinter.
Oh boy.
And
yeah.
Since then, you know, I played pretty much every MMO out of the box. And, you know, the story for Intrepid and Ashes of Creation really stemmed from my last MMO that I was playing pretty heavily, which was Arcade, about 6-7 years ago. About 6 years ago. And I really loved that game. Like, I felt it had a lot of great potential, and I just got really fed up and upset with, you know, some of the design decisions. And let me know if I'm cutting out, by the way.
But it'll probably be off and on. It'll be all right.
Yeah. Some of the design decisions really just kind of ticked me off. And, you know, I had a very large guild in that game, and I've had a large guild since I was one of my favorite MMOs I played back in like 2003 for many years was Lineage 2. A lot of inspiration I have for Ashes comes from like Lineage 2, Arcade.
A lot of people brought that up. Actually.
Yeah, I thought Lineage 2 was a great game. I really like non-faction based games that, you know, leave kind of the you know,
we're
player
getting close.
agency
We're gonna hit
to
that
determine
29 soon.
to the player. So
2600
essentially,
XP?
you know, I was
We're actually about
in
to be
San Diego, and
really.
San Diego's
Like
a great hotbed for developers. You know, we have a lot of studios around us. We had Sony Online Entertainment, which became Daybreak. We had, you know, Blizzard in Irvine. We had, you know, Amazon Game Studio and stuff. So, you know, I'm a pretty big tabletop gamer as well. I love playing like Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40K, and a lot of the guys from Sony would play at my game shop. And
really?
you know, I was
cool.
I was retired at like 29, and when I was fed up with ArcAge, and I said to these guys, I was like, hey, what do you think about making an MMORPG? Like, I'll fund it. Let's try to hire a bunch of people and see what we can do. So, you know, we started like 2015, 2016, kind of white papering out all of the designs.
109, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, all the
that's a
different
hit.
systems that exist. And about 2017, we went to Kickstarter, not really as a means for funding. You know, I'm personally funding the entire project, but actually to, you know, add some additional features, but also mainly to get a litmus test on what the community thinks about many of our designs.
To see if there's a demand.
Exactly, yeah. It's essentially to test this design theory, because as you know, and a lot of MMO players know, you know, there's been this kind of paradigm shift towards a mentality of everybody's a winner.
All right, I'm done with that.
There's no longer a risk versus reward type of design philosophy. And
yes, we've heard of that.
And I can't stand that. I mean, it makes me, it really undermines what the genre was meant to be. And that doesn't go to say that there shouldn't be systems that are made for casual players and systems that are made for hardcore players. You should have a diversity of progression paths. But, you know, I really got upset with that. So we wanted to make sure that these ideas resonated with the MMORPG genre. And that's, you know, what we did with Kickstarter was very successful. And that's when we started to really ramp up in the number of developers and the size of the studio, and really started making significant progress in production. So we've been in production now for about 3 years, ever since Kickstarter. And, you know, we have over 65 developers that are here in San Diego, with some that are, you know, outside elsewhere in the world. And then we're ramping up right now. We just launched another hiring phase with 24 positions available at the studio that we're promoting.
So whenever you're talking about the Kickstarter and the kind of feedback that you guys have gotten, is there any specific feature in the game that was actually kind of thought of by people in the Kickstarter, or are these just kind of all ideas that you...
Okay. What the balls? Okay.
We've come up with, and just different people have enabled them to happen.
Yeah, there really wasn't ideas that we took, so to speak, from a system or mechanic standpoint from Kickstarter. All of these designs are, you know, essentially designs that I created as kind of inspiration from the many MMORPGs that I've played in the past, each of which, you know, contains some, you know, reference to maybe a system that is in Ashes that I thought did well. And I just thought, why not combine all of these systems together into a game that
literally
represents
every
a wide
system.
array of player ability to kind of focus in the direction and progress in a direction that they want.
Like Blizzard on crack, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something that we're obviously... We still...
You know, providing a truly PvX kind of experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I was really kind of excited to see, and this is something that I really liked about Classic WoW, for example, is that you had people who basically their end game was doing professions, and with BDO you had kind of the same thing, where you had players that were PvPers and PvEers, and then you also had people that were working inside of the community of the game, kind of carving out their own gameplay experience. And I feel like professions are playing a very big role in Ashes of Creation. Am I kind of right about that? I've seen a lot of stuff about it.
Yeah, so the profession system is intrinsically tied to what is called our artisanship system. So the artisanship system really contains 3 branches of focus. Okay, gathering, processing, and crafting, essentially. The gathering is focused really around the blacksmithing profession, your ability to craft tools that essentially better your ability to collect raw resources in the world to harvest them. They grant you access to higher grade resources. They increase the chances of procking rare materials out of, rare resources out of the harvesting nodes. And then the processing is based kind of around your freehold system, with essentially establishing the infrastructure for processing those things on your freehold parcel. And that's like building blueprints of smelters or of stables for the animal husbandry profession, that kind of thing.
It's kind of like middle professions.
Right, exactly. And once you process those raw gatherables into craftable materials, that's when the crafters come online. And their main focus is to acquire recipes. There are limited uses to recipes, the more rare the recipe is. And that's tied intrinsically into node progression. So as nodes get higher stages, it unlocks crafting stations that can be constructed so that the crafters who get their processed goods from the processors, who get their raw materials from the gatherers, are able to complete a finished product.
So there's like it's an assembly line effectively.
Right, exactly. The key to making a successful crafting system is including interdependencies that exist within the system that people are required to excel and progress in order to facilitate that assembly line.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that's one of the best things about the game. It's one of the things that I've kind of disliked about WoW is the fact that people can kind of do everything all by themselves. But how many professions can you have? You can only be an artisan in one profession at a time, is that right?
So as you progress in one of the 3 branches of the artisanship system with your gathering, processing, or crafting abilities, it unlocks access to certain professions that then you have a secondary progression path in based off of your performance in creating that profession's specialty. So think of it like a tree. The higher you go up the tree, the taller the branches that you have access to. Those branches are essentially the professions.
Okay, that makes sense. And so I did see one element of it that I was a little bit, I'm actually curious about how you're going to be able to balance this, and that the profession gear is going to be equivalent to the raiding gear.
Right. So essentially, the crafted gear is going to be on par with what legendary drops will be. And the way you kind of accomplish that is, the drop tables that exist for world bosses or dungeon bosses, they have a RNG chance of dropping completed items.
Yeah.
Complete, totally finished items. However, they have a higher chance of dropping material components that are necessary and unique recipes that are necessary in crafting those on par gear. So
I see.
Idea,
okay.
Yeah. So the idea is, as you're completing this content, you're not only fueling the opportunity through the drop table system to acquire completed boss gear, but you're also adding additional materials that go into supplying the master artisans with the ability to craft this gear as well.
Did you ever play Classic WoW?
Yeah, I played Classic WoW.
Phoenixia Scale Cloak? Is that it?
I really honestly didn't get into WoW too much.
Okay.
And the reason why is because WoW launched around the same time as Lineage 2. And, I really just wasn't a huge fan of the faction-based system. Oftentimes I found myself disliking my own faction more than I disliked the enemy faction I was told to fight.
Yeah, I can relate.
I kind of, felt in Lineage there was an opportunity there to have more guild-driven politics, more player-driven interactions, and I kind of got hooked on Lineage in that regard, so I didn't play WoW a lot.
No, I can understand that. I think that the same dynamic happened in Black Desert, and I can totally understand it. It was really fun in there too. So, like, for example, with the profession gear, let's say you kill a dragon, and the dragon can drop a dragon tooth, but you can also get dragon scales from the dragon, and you use the dragon scales to craft like a shield or something.
Absolutely correct. So there's going to be multiple material components that are capable of being dropped from each world boss and or dungeon boss, and those components will relate to a specific type of craftable gear.
Okay, and that's where the high-level craftable gear comes from. And these high-level bosses and these like world bosses and everything, these are all in instant content, the highest level ones?
Not all of them. There are some that are more story related that get instanced, but 80% of the content that will exist in Ashes of Creation is open world, and there's a specific reason for that. So because of the way that friendships and or enemies are forged in the game, and people have the opportunity to create their own friends or foes, we want that to play out from a contesting standpoint as well. So a lot of these hunting grounds or raid bosses that people are going to have opportunities to kill, they're going to be essentially contested potentially by your enemies that you've created in the game, or you can work together to create alliances in order to defend those contested zones.
Oh yeah, we have that now in Classic WoW. It's very very drama driven, but it's also very social. It is extremely social, and that's a big positive.
Absolutely. I mean, the social component of what MMORPGs as a genre are supposed to be have kind of been lost over the years, in my opinion, over the past decade, as many of the designs are more related to essentially creating these safe spaces for players, which don't create a lot of soft friction. And I don't like the idea of that. I think soft friction is an important component of making people emotionally invested in the outcome of events in games. That's an important part of why we play games. And some of the best experiences that I've had as an MMORPG gamer have been not related around the curated content by the designers, but instead by the unpredictable player-driven encounters that nobody could have predicted. Like I remember in ArcAge, I had a great time. My guild was fighting almost the entire server, and we had literally, and I'm not exaggerating here, we had a 24 straight hour fight where I went to bed in the middle of the fight for like 3 hours, and I got back up and got
Holy
back
shit.
into the command chair.
Wow.
And it was all over the Kraken raid boss that the server was trying to prevent us from doing. And that, I mean, those types of events live with you. I mean, yes, they're gated around the content, but they're player-driven events.
So I guess probably that experience is what caused you to have the sieges be at dedicated times damage during the day.
And got a critical hit.
I think it's important that, for players, we work hard so that we can have the free time to come and enjoy, what we like with MMORPGs. And it kind of sucks if, somebody can sneak in a Castle Siege at 2 a.m. in the morning and, you're not up and your friends are up. And that's a really shitty experience. So, the way we're going to structure the server shards is essentially when you come into the game, you're going to have a time zone that's appropriate next to your server that you choose. And that's going to reflect essentially the windows in which some of these key systems can operate. So like, say, for example, you want to declare a siege against a node, you'll complete that quest to get the siege scroll. When you get that siege scroll, the applicable time that you can declare the siege will be between, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time if you're an Eastern server.
Oh, you bitch.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's probably the smartest and best way to do it for the same reasons that you mentioned.
Still got that crit.
So whenever you're talking about like this PvE content, like what's kind of the difficulty level of that content, and how is the game meant to be like with World of Warcraft nowadays? There's a heavy emphasis on like content that's very challenging and very hard. Is that something that you're really looking to emulate in Ashes of Creation, or is it just going to be mainly a social experience with difficulty that's kind of created primarily through the friction of other players?
Well, I think so. 100%. Our objective on the PvE front is to create encounters that have varying degrees of difficulty that are determined by your performance as a raid or group. So essentially, as you're progressing through, let's say, a raid environment, a dungeon, and you're beating the first and second and third boss before you get to the final boss, your performance at those stages will dictate the AI's performance against you at each subsequent phase. That's kind of the idea behind the varying difficulties. Now, based on your performance and the varying degrees of difficulty will also influence the drop tables that are used when you complete that content as well. So the better you do, the better opportunity you'll have from a gear and drop standpoint also. Now, that's super important because one of the primary driving forces that I've experienced as a gamer in MMORPGs is that gear chase. And the reason people have a gear chase comes down to performance, essentially, right?
Yes.
And that performance can either be dictated by your PvP experiences, whether that be castle sieges or group PvP, whatever, or it's dictated by the ability and drive for you to complete content at a degree in which you have to get the benefits that you want, right? So we want to make sure that there is difficulty that's reflective of the desire to get best in slot items, and that's a very important component.
So, like, for example, let's say you do the first boss, and if you kill the first boss within 30 seconds, then the second boss gains more health and it drops better gear, and if you kill the second boss within 30 seconds, then the third boss is even stronger. Is that kind of...
Right, so
okay.
That's a very simplistic way to look at it. I would say that is accurate to a principle standpoint, but really what happens is our bosses have specific AI behavior trees and blackboards that they use in order to determine the types of skills that they're going to show during an encounter, the type of thresholds on their health pool that instigate either rage mechanics or different types of environmental hazards and strategies that become online. All of those things are kind of predicated in an overarching AI manager for an encounter. Like, let's say that dungeon where you described, hey, I killed the first boss in X amount of time. Now the second boss is AI behavior tree number 3 on the scale, or number 5. You know, it kind of increases in that.
So it's dynamic difficulty in that way.
Exactly.
Okay, and does it also scale with the amount of players? So, like, for example, if you go in there with, I think the numbers were 8, 16, and 40. Are you encountering the same bosses at 8 players as you are with 40, or are there certain bits of content in the world that are exclusive, basically for large groups like 40 and above?
So we're not going to be incorporating scaling into the encounters and the AI, essentially. You're going to have designated encounters that are intended for 40-man groups. You're going to have designated content for party groups, elite monsters, and then you're going to have designated solo encounters, right? The idea there, you know, I'm not a huge fan of scaling. I think that kind of diminishes. I think it diminishes your achievements, and if you're always fighting the same difficulty level, it's a monotonous experience, and it kind of sucks. So, you know, that's why we have statically designated types of content.
And so that actually leads me to another question I have with leveling. So whenever you're leveling out in the world, the time frame that they gave that Lazy Peon gave was 45 days, playing 6 to 4 to 6 hours a day. Is that accurate, or where would you kind of expect it to lie?
Yeah, I'm always hesitant to, you know, to have answered that in the past because I don't want to give people the wrong impression. But I would say this safely: a lot of games are built around very fast progression, and you know, our philosophy is there are many different progression paths. Not everything is tied to your adventuring class and leveling your adventuring class. There's advancement within societies of nodes. There's the advancement of the nodes itself. There's the advancement of your artisanship classes and gatherables. There's advancement within the religion system. There's advancement that is in exploration. There's a lot of different things that players can do to progress. So it kind of, you know, to kind of tie it all back to just the adventuring class and being able to get max level in a week, that's not going to be Ashes of Creation. Ashes of Creation
not retail.
On the adventuring class side will require some substantive dedication in order to level up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that shit was loud. We're on Nasomi, not on retail. Doing a little old school content. Oh yeah, dude. Have you tried any of the old school servers at all? I personally like them. I don't know, the retail stuff. I probably, honestly, I haven't ever fully beaten all the story for Final Fantasy 11, but I don't know. I'll probably end up eventually going through it and just going through retail to get all the story. Yeah, so I heard Eden is really good too. I actually thought about trying Eden with one of my buddies. Why did you, can I ask you a question? Why did you stop playing on Nasomi and switch to Eden? I'm curious. And yeah, as far as the story goes, that's pretty much what I've heard. Probably just be way easier. Because I think I stopped playing after Treasures of Ottergone. So what was that, like right as Wings of the Goddess started coming out? Oh, true. So it's, well, so that's like a bug issue. I totally agree. Like if there's like a ton of bug issues, I probably wouldn't do it. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't experienced very many bug issues, so if I did, I definitely would probably just quit, because there's nothing worse. Like, I've been following a lot of the private servers for a long time, like back when Darkstar first started. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. As far as the spawns go. But yeah, I've been playing since like Darkstar. And then there was like Shinra Project and a bunch of stuff, but huh. So are you saying that they were like cheating in there? I mean, I do understand, because like one of the downfalls, well, I shouldn't say downfall, but one of the kind of annoying things is like waiting for Leaping Lizzie. Oh, okay, so they were cheating. Okay, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, that's super fucking annoying, especially in a game like this. That was the one thing I could say for Square Enix back in the day. If you played Final Fantasy XI, they did not fucking play when it came to people like cheating. I remember people getting put in jail like all the time. I remember hearing about that a lot. So that sucks. I mean, honestly, I haven't experienced that yet. 100% though. Like if that did happen, I would fucking bounce in a second. I don't know. I just needed something to kind of scratch my itch for old school Final Fantasy XI. Well, yeah, so that's actually I know exactly what you're talking about, because that actually used to happen back in the day too, right? When the bots were like really bad before Square Enix could actually do anything about it. That shit used to fucking trigger me. I remember camping Leaping Lizzie like crazy. Or even there's the old story, right? Back in the day where you couldn't, I want to say it was copper ingots, right? And this is like really important stuff for like someone who's beginning blacksmithing, right? Well, blacksmithing became like, and this was on, I want to say it was on Asura back in the day. Yeah, it was on Asura back in the day. But like blacksmithing became like super, super expensive to start doing, because basically all the copper ingots you could buy from the metalworks would get bought out by bots and then resold on the auction house. And so the copper ingots went from like, I want to say it was like 600, 700 gil a stack to like 3 to 4K a stack. Like it was just stupid. It was so annoying. And I remember because like I was just trying to like start a new crafting skill, and I used to get wrecked by that all the time. And I remember it became kind of like a game, because you'd wait for the store to open, right? And like just like clockwork, like 2 or 3 bots would just like pop up. They would just log into the game, like perfect timing. And it would be almost like a game to see who could buy like the most stacks of like copper ingots. You always felt kind of good though whenever you did get a few. Actually, can you maybe you can answer this for me? How far does the story go on Eden? Like how much content do they have? Do they have up to Treasures of Adargon, or do they have Wings of the Goddess, or what? I don't think I've ever actually looked into that. Okay. Oh, okay, in progress. That's fine though, you know. So I never actually, but oh, true. That's good. So I never actually played Wings of the Goddess. I don't know if you have or not, but I was always told that like basically anything after Treasures of Adargon felt like just felt like an addition to the story, not necessarily like the Final Fantasy XI story. Is that true? Yeah, I heard that too. I heard Dancer pretty much killed all other subs. Oh, really? Was you know what I was always super disappointed in? I was always like super disappointed in the fact that they never redid the old city from Chains of Promethea. So my buddy, whenever he would run like some of the old private servers, I remember he would go over there, and apparently like a bunch of those areas for that city were like developed. Like there's like a train that would go back in there and stuff like that. So it seemed like Square Enix actually had a plan to do something with those with that area at one point. I always thought it was a shame that they never did. Because that's like, I mean, it's the place that you visit in like the beginning of the first cutscene of the game, right? And it's always been weird to me because I felt like, or at least it was my impression that at the beginning of the game, it seemed like all these nations were going back to take back that city, right? Like they're standing on the hill, like the little boy, you know, has to run away from the city because it gets destroyed by beastmen, and you know they're standing on the hill going to reclaim the city. I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know about you, but yeah, missed opportunity. Honestly, I hope if they do the Final Fantasy XI mobile, or actually R, because it seems to be like remake since they renamed it. I really hope if they decide to do like any kind of new story, I hope they incorporate like that city. That's just my personal thing. Let's see if anything sold. Not a damn thing. Yeah, I'm about to call it too. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciated the conversation. Damn, we got stacks of fire crystals in this motherfucker. Could make some decent money on that. Them and the wind crystals. I should probably save some stuff. So when I start crafting, I won't have to worry about shit. Oh, is that 4? Oh, perfect. Just right there. Come right here. Do that right there. We do have, so the fish scale shield, I'll keep that. The domino meat, I can sell that. The hair meat, I can sell that. Hopefully. Mod case. Yeah, let's put this thing back. Damn, what was it? One more level? What level am I now? Okay, I'm level 28. I can't equip that headpiece yet. I want to keep listening to that Ashes of Creation thing.
You know, we want to get back to that more nostalgic kind of design philosophy where your investment in your character is meaningful and not everybody is going to get a participation reward.
Well, that's certainly a relief. And whenever you're leveling up, so you're going from like, there are zones that are, for instance, level 20 zones that if you go to a level 30, those mobs are still level 20. And if you go there at level 10, the mobs are still also level 20.
So actually, there's a unique component. You know, the biggest thing that sets Ashes of Creation apart from pretty much every MMO that's come before it is that as nodes, you know, nodes are the primary world building mechanic in the game. You go throughout the world, you do your normal MMO things, you kill monsters, you do quest lines, you gather goods, whatever. As you're doing that, you're collecting that experience, and a node somewhere is collecting that experience as well. And as the node advances in stages, at each stage, it's actually changing the spawn tables around it. So you have dedicated points of interest that exist around each of the node locations. And as the node advances, it advances the level of the mobs in certain locations so that those areas remain relevant. One of the biggest problems that MMOs, you know, have that I've experienced in the past, partially one of the reasons why I wanted this system in place, is because you always had these starting areas that were empty, worthless, and had no relevance after an initial launch, right? Or a new expansion launch. And that's kind of one of the intrinsic problems with MMOs. It appears to be like, from a new player acquisition point, MMOs don't typically fare well. From a retention standpoint, they tend to fare better than most. So how can we kind of solve that problem? And one of the ideas I had was, with the node progressing and unlocking new content, that maintains relevancy of those zones so that new players come back. And the reason why it's important,
look at the Raptors.
Level players come back. And the reason why that's important is because one of the problems of a new player joining an existing MMO.
So what I'm looking at is that, look at the fucking raptor. It's a velociraptor.
Is there's no social experience because of those empty starting zones.
It's just dinosaurs on dinosaurs.
Yeah. So one of the ways we kind of solve that is, if the primary source of new content,
you're like a mage and you're fighting velociraptors and running through lava.
These nodes that exist near the
shit does look good.
For players,
shit looks really good.
Get introduced into societies, religions, and guilds and whatnot, and still have the relevant monsters and quest lines for them to progress. But there's going to be, you know, higher level endgame characters that are present at the node as well for them to get inducted into, you know, guilds or whatever.
So, like, for example, I don't know, like, how close this is, but I'll give you, like, a scenario and just let me know if this is, you know, if I'm hot or cold here. So, like, imagine there's, like, a mountain, and then if you're mining in the mountain, eventually you start finding, you know, small, little, like, fire salamanders, and then you know, advance your node a little bit farther, and now you're seeing, you know, medium-sized drakes, and then you advance your node even further, and then there's an actual dragon inside of the node. Is that pretty much how it works?
It's not only that.
Okay. It looks like there's one person viewing from somewhere, whether that's YouTube or Twitch. I don't have my thing up, so I can't see. Hold on a second. Actually, wait a second. Ugh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get off for now. I got a big day tomorrow. It's like, the fuck? Oh, it's the PlayStation. Sorry. That's like legitimately making a fucking ruckus. Anyways, yeah, I got a big day tomorrow. It's like 2:30, so it's gonna be. Yeah, we're like halfway to 3, and I still got a shower and shit. So I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Had a good time.